I'm Al Pratt, the Portsmouth Water Resource Manager, and this is a brief overview of the Portsmouth drinking water quality and what the Water Division is doing to protect and test the water and provide information to customers about the water quality. To begin, I'm going to talk about what we're doing to manage and treat our water sources. Then I'll go over the testing that's done to ensure the water meets all state and federal quality standards. Then I'll provide some information about our reports and how you can learn more about your water quality. You can think of the management of the water quality in three categories. First, source protection. How are we looking forward to protect ourselves from potential contaminant risks? Then how management of our reservoir can affect the quality of the water. And finally, how we optimize our treatment systems to make sure we're producing high quality drinking water. Managing the quality of the drinking water begins in the watershed and wellhead protection areas of our sources of supply. Wellhead protection areas are those areas where rain infiltrates into the ground and recharges the aquifer from which our supply wells withdraw water. This is the Greenland well and its wellhead protection area. And watersheds are the land areas that drain to a surface water feature like our Bellamy Reservoir. It's important for us to know what activities are occurring within these wellhead and watershed protection areas that could potentially affect the water quality, and where possible, monitor and manage these activities to minimize their risk to the water supply. The Bellamy Reservoir, like any surface water feature, is very dynamic. Nutrients feed algal growth, which becomes an organic load that in turn depletes the oxygen concentrations in the water. Certain tastes in the water can begin here with the production of chemicals from algae and bacteria that even at extremely low concentrations can impart a taste to the water. We actively manage the water quality dynamics of the reservoir in the summertime through air diffusers and a system that partitions areas in the reservoir. This approach helps to reduce algal growth and minimizes the dissolution of metals and nutrients from the sediments. Finally, the water quality is managed through the optimization of our surface water treatment process to ensure organics and minerals are effectively removed and pathogens are sufficiently deactivated. Chemicals are added to ensure the water that's delivered into the system maintains required chlorine residual and has characteristics that minimize corrosion potential. The drinking water is routinely tested. This is a list of 10 categories of potential contaminants that we test for. The drinking water compliance regulations vary for each of these parameters. Some contaminants are tested from the sources, such as volatile and synthetic organics, while others, like bacteria and lead, that are tested throughout the water distribution system. The way compliance is determined also varies for these contaminants, where some are based on individual sample results and others on annual rolling averages or system-wide statistical values. This is the list of parameters that are analyzed for. Not all of these have drinking water limits, but are measured by the analytical method used for the specific category of chemical. So we have records for all these parameters, the majority of which are not detected in the water. There are varying frequencies and locations for the water quality testing. For example, bacteria are tested from 15 sites around the city twice a month. PFAS are sampled from the wells and treatment plant every quarter, and VOCs and SOCs are sampled every year from the sources. The samples that Water Division staff collect are all submitted and analyzed by New Hampshire accredited laboratories. The state accreditation program requires laboratories to use the EPA methods that are specified for each parameter under the drinking water quality regulations. The laboratories are required to submit the analytical results directly to the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services for their determination and documentation of compliance. If there are any results that exceed EPA or state standards, we are notified immediately. All of these results are maintained on the DES data portal called OneStop. These data are available for the public to download, and the Water Division maintains all of these records in our water quality database. If water quality results that were ever measured in exceedance of state or federal requirements, the customers would be notified. This is a list of methods of notification that we could use for getting the message out, from mailings to text to the city website and the city newsletter. Notification requirements vary depending upon the parameter that was in violation. The standardized notifications required by the state identify the contaminant, its measured or calculated concentration, what the potential health risks are, and what you can or should do in response to the violation. Every year we compile all of the water quality sampling results and summarize them in our annual water quality report. These reports are also referred to as consumer confidence reports by the EPA and are mailed to customers by July 1st each year. They are intended to provide customers with information about the sources of water, water treatment processes, and other important system information. There are summary tables of water quality data. We do not include the parameters that had no detection. Only the parameters that had quantified results are included in these tables. These annual reports are all available on the city's website under Public Works, Water section, under the Quality and Status page. The Water Division also prepares water supply status reports. These are issued at least quarterly and more often if water conditions are such that water use restrictions may be required. The status reports evaluate a number of criteria and environmental conditions that affect the water supply. These include precipitation records and trends, groundwater levels, reservoir levels and quality conditions, stream flow, water demand, and source production capacity. By assessing these conditions along with the state's assessment of drought conditions, we evaluate whether water use restrictions need to be put in place. All of these status reports are also available on the city's website on the water supply status page. And the most direct way of learning about your water quality, or if you have any specific water quality issues or concerns, please contact our water quality specialist, Mason Caceres, or me, Al Pratt, at these numbers or emails. We also can be contacted through the city's Click and Fix app or Click and Fix form on the city's website. I hope this helped with your understanding of what the city is doing to manage, test, and report on the Portsmouth water quality.